yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nia. I really appreciate the very generous introduction. I'm very honored to be part of this panel, especially Judge Tabador had accepted to be part of this important panel to serve our community and propagate the needed information, especially for the students of Southern California. Perhaps in the future we may have expand this webinar for the other part of the California, and that remains to be seen. I think that all the challenges and solutions of the visa status change has been discussed, and it appears that for most part, when it comes to the visa status change, there is always a new job need to be secured, which is a qualified the individual for the visa status change. During this period of chaotic period, I would say, and stressful period, as described with Dr. Kazemi and Judge Tabador, I invite folks to be very vigilant and always look for the opportunities. In a minute, I will talk a little bit about maybe like take few minutes and talk about a personal experience, but always that is true that when opportunity and luck, they cross each other, the result always is success. As an emeritus executive director of academic affairs, serving many universities, I believe that when folks are looking for a new position, new job, they should keep in mind that the chosen job should be fallen within their interest, and their interest should be coincide with the national interest. When the both interests are coincides and are parallel with that of each other, success will be guaranteed, especially in the career development process. At this point, let me share some of my personal experience when I was talking about be vigilant and look for the opportunities. Year is 1979. Revolution has occurred in Iran, and here I am with a B1, B2 visa in United States. Long behold, the Revolutionary Guards, they have taken over the U.S. embassy and has taken the U.S. diplomats as a hostage. So the environment was very hostile. And I didn't know what am I going to do. Am I going back to Iran where I have lost my business and my job, or am I going to stay in United States and build a new life? This is very much type of situation with a little bit variation right now in the United States for those folks, they are staying here as a visa and they require to stay legal. So what happened was, I heard that at the time, President of the United States is going to address the State of the Union and talk to the Congress. And I had not heard before the President of the United States to speak. And then I thought that maybe I should find the TV and sit down and listen to see what he has to say. Therefore, I sat before TV and the President Carter addressed the State of Union for 1 hour and probably 5 minutes or so. And I realized that within his speech, he spent around 25 minutes to half an hour talking about energy. Therefore, I decided this must be the future. And that's what I'm talking about, looking for the opportunities. Therefore, next day I went up to Hill at the University of Pittsburgh. That is where I was at that time. And I made an inquiry if there is an energy program in that university. They said, yes, indeed. There are 3 universities within the United States which they offer a special program related to the energy. Therefore, I went to the respective department and I said that I'm here, but I have no documentation, nothing, but I'm a graduate of Sussex University with a major of electronic and minor of mechanical, electrical, and structure. Will you allow me to start a program? They said, well, we will give you a provisional admission so that you can start, and later on we verify your credential. That is how I started, and long behold, there was one particular company. They were looking for somebody who knows he has some knowledge of solar and renewable energy, and they were working on a project for the NASA Lewis Research Center, outskirts of Cleveland. Therefore, they invited me, and that is how I started, and I secured my green card. The reason I bored you with this experience to relate to the fact that be vigilant and look for the opportunity. That is the key to success. That is expected from everybody. They are in virtue of, in the stage of changing their status. Having said that, now let me go and talk a little bit about the US opportunities. US opportunities at this point of time, in my book, it falls in 4 categories of the productivity, management, technology, and energy. As you see, productivity is the backbone of every nation. And as such, when we look at today's policy, we used to be a manufacturing country, but the US left that behind and start being a service country, service society. But now we are going back to the manufacturing. Therefore, the productivity is going to be area which can provide lots of opportunity. But to be successful in managing that productivity, we require management. So that's another area that we need to look for a very solid, inviting jobs so that we can go towards management, MBA, business administration, all kind of management. However, productivity and management cannot be handled very easily unless otherwise we involve technology. That is computer applications, various type of technology. Having said that, none of the 3 will be possible if energy is not there. Imagine that the electricity is absent, all life will come to halt. The banking, elevators, productivity, and you name it. Therefore, my recommendation for our graduate students and those students they are planning to graduate to pay attention to these 4 areas, and especially like Mariam mentioned, the Globally.ai's platform gives you an access to view very dynamic, up-to-date job opportunities and job description. And there are thousands of them. And every day, to my understanding, there is always 1,000 plus new jobs being added to that platform. I think, Holly, at this point of time, I better stop and give opportunity to our audience to ask questions, because there are so many important issues relating to the immigration at this point of time, the change of status. And with that, I turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karikia, and thank you. At least I learned a lot about what the future brings. And as a college professor teaching for the last 30 years, I know students at all universities and colleges around the country are always looking to pursue careers where they can be successful, but also be passionate about, and also be able to create a state of peaceful mind. And that's where we go into the mental health aspect of it, because if we're not feeling at peace, then we won't be feeling happiness and joy. And thank you for, this sort of coming together of today, where everybody sort of shared expertise, where everyone can utilize the information and be able to make changes, positive changes in their lives.